everyone, and welcome back to another Train Sim World 2 roadmap update video. This is as of the 5th of July 2022. Now I'm gonna cut straight to the chase because I know there's quite a lot on roadmaps now, so I'm gonna go straight to the end bit where it tells you what's coming next and stuff like that, and then after we'll then go and read all of the other bits and bobs. So roadmap. So Dovetail Games releases the German route and the US route. So no new Dovetail Games releases. Other releases, we do have the BR Class 484 with the updated Island line. So we'll be seeing that, and also the DBBR 4204 Munich to Augsburg. Core features, you've got the add-ons manager, so that is previously the PS5 DLC limit fix, Spirit of Steam manual fireman functionality, and the PS4 to PS5 profile transfer, miscellaneous Dovetail Live rewards, rush hour passenger system for the London commuter, and red light dispatcher improvements across multiple routes. And then the preservation crew, this is sort of how big the update is for each of the for each of the routes. So there'll be a tiny update for the Cathcart Circle, a small update for the Habstrecke Hamburg to Lübeck, a medium update for Reimer Osten, not really a small update, but the 2022 Bakerloo timetable of 600 plus services, a small update for Long Island Railroad. I'd imagine that is the Harlem Line M7A sounds going to there. A huge update for Peninsula Corridor and Oakville Subdivision, a tiny update for LGV Mediterranee. And then obviously all the removed stuff is, what's come out in the last update. Right, now up to the top to read what else we have got in the roadmap. So, scrolling up, you should be able to see the new screenshots there of the 484, which were in the roadmap. So, hello folks, as we move into summer, we have a similar British summer surprise for you coming from Rivet Games. As part of this roadmap, we've asked the team at Rivet to tell you a little more about it. Also, we have good news on the Xbox Jackhammer audio issue, an update on other things we are working on, and an introduction to a new member of the team, and a special development deep dive talking about how we develop gameplay for our routes. So, what's changed this month? As we announced earlier, the Island Line 2022 BR Class 484 add-on from Rivet Games will be coming to Train Sim World 2 on July the 19th. And obviously we did have the separate video for that. Various items have been removed from the roadmap as they've been released. So that was the update we had a couple of weeks back for Great Western, West Somerset, Northern Transpennine, and the livery designer loco decals. And now, what we've already talked about, the 484. So earlier today, we announced the next add-on coming to Train Sim World 2 from Rivet Games. We asked the Rivet team for details on what you can all expect. With the Island Line 2022, we are revisiting a true classic in Train Sim World 2. Since the original Isle of Wight Railway was under construction throughout 2021 to make it ready for the new Class 484 electric multiple unit 2-car trains to be brought in, this pack comes not only with a new loco, but a major overhaul of the entire route. This will be a standalone route that doesn't require the original Isle of Wight line. We have been working hard over recent months rebuilding the Isle of Wight line, not only to include the changes made to track in real life, but also adding in more detail and upgrading quality throughout the route. This includes more features throughout the stations, more scenery along the length of the track, new signalling system, completely rebuilt platforms and raised sections to match the new train height, as well as several new interiors along the route which players can now visit. Oh, and you can see in one of the screenshots, we do have now working PIS on the route as well, or the dot matrix display, so very nice to see that. New functionality developed for this route includes new arcing effects on the third rail to special effects for scenarios. Now that's very nice. And the scenarios themselves are more interactive than ever before. That's really good, having the arcing effects on the third rail. That's that's great to see that. Because the route has a very low profile, it continues to use former London Underground tube stock that has been rebuilt as the newly introduced BR Class 484 to serve the Island Line. Rebuilt in a breathtaking level of detail, the train features true-to-life physics and audio based on recent recordings taken on the 484s in real life. And one of the things to notice straight away, it isn't branded, so you have got a slightly fictional livery-ish and there's no South Western Railway branding. But I suppose we might see that in future if they ever get branding for South Western Railway. And obviously you have got Creators Club as well, so just expect tons of liveries on there for South Western. Whilst working on the new Island line, the Rivet game have also been making, the Rivet team have also been making some small improvements to the original Isle of Wight Shanklin to Ryde route, with some art and audio tweaks to the original route, general bug fixes, as well as updating the water textures to the one used in the West Cornwall local route, which look really, really cool. Preservation crew update. After the substantial update to GWE, Northern Transpennine and West Somerset Railway, the team will be working on the next batch of improvements. You can see the list at the bottom of the article, what areas we are still working on, which obviously we went through at the beginning. If you wanted to meet the preservation crew team, we did a 4-up challenge last week, and you can watch that. Well, look at the Train Simulator channel, it's on there. PS5 add-ons limit, add-ons manager. Last month we updated you with the potential solution for the PS5 add-ons limit, which would not only enable you to download all your add-ons again, but also potentially save on memory whilst playing. This in turn would reduce the out-of-memory crashes, particularly those playing on 8th generation consoles or with lots of add-ons installed, so PS4, Xbox One, even probably Xbox Series S, and work is still ongoing for that. Developer Deep Dive, making gameplay. In this month's Developer Deep Dive, we grabbed our associate designer, Michael, to discuss how we bring you gameplay options within Train Sim World. Read on to find out how we make training modules, scenarios, timetables, journey chapters, and more, particularly how we did it for Spirit of Steam. And then take it away, Michael. So, research and planning. Before we begin work on the Train Sim World 2 editor, which would be awesome if it got made public one day, we plan out the content we want to include. Once we've had a briefing over what content is going to be included in the project, the team presents ideas for narratives and events for scenarios, what to cover in training modules, and specific service types for the route timetable. This is usually the part where we come up with the names for scenarios, journey chapters, and achievements. Research is done to represent authentic experiences and engaging stories and events. So information is collected from many different avenues: the train operating companies, working timetables, tourist websites, videos from rail fans, Dovetail beta forums and Discord servers. Once we have the initial ideas and research in place, the team branches off working on specific content, so training modules and scenarios. With all of our training modules, we aim to be able to teach the player the basics as well as any other specifics about the locos included. This proved to be a challenge for Spirit of Steam, as we had to try and explain not only how a steam loco should be driven, but including how they work internally too. With scenarios, we aim to give a more narrative-driven experience than you will find in the timetables. We work closely with the rail vehicle setup team to ensure we have the correct startup and shutdown procedures and any information on specific features the loco comes with. All of our training modules are fully voiced too, so we work closely with the audio team, writing up scripts to be recorded. Once we have all of the information shared across our teams, we're able to block out our training modules and scenarios. The data asset is created, which includes information on the scenario or training module. This information will appear in the in-game menus. We use something called blueprints to build out the player objectives. These, when combined, allow us to implement an early working version of a scenario or training module. We then include dialogue and voiceovers into the objectives blueprint, so you should be able to see a couple of screenshots going through here. Every week we review the content we are working on and give each other feedback. We then move on to polishing. This will include cleaning up any issues, adding in scenario-specific scenery, scoring, AI trains and thumbnail images, and then route timetables. With all the service data collected in an Excel document, the route timetable can be implemented. The route timetable is a 24-hour version of the ones implemented into scenarios and training modules, meaning service patterns need to flow correctly and we keep track of every train. Since route timetables are 24 hours, we have to simulate running them, which is far quicker than testing them for a whole day, ensuring trains run on time, meet at station platforms or yards correctly, and leave and enter portals, amongst many other factors. One of the challenges when working on this is that you can't have any late trains, which can take many hours of simulating and tweaking, ironing out any minor issues. Journeys. Journey chapters house all of these scenarios, training modules, and the services in the route timetable, each chapter allowing for varied experiences. Spirit of Steam allowed us to explore this slightly differently than before, allowing us to focus the player on knowing how to control the steam locomotive before offering them the more challenging experiences as they continue to familiarise themselves with both locomotives. Scenario Designer. Scenario Designer is a task that can be either fairly simple or very tedious to implement. It all depends on the route. We aim to open up as many paths on the route for the player to take, keeping in mind we want to avoid causing obstructions or queuing at signals. Sherman Hill and Harlem Line are great examples of fairly straightforward routes to design and implement. 2 and 3 up and down loads, lots of yards and roads for variety. Spirit of Steam was another challenge. There's a lot of route to cover, allowing for all manner of paths you can potentially take. In this situation, we review what paths are covered in the route timetable and use those as reference to implement as many paths as we can. And then Team Spotlight, Alex. Each month we will bring a new member of the roadmap and ask them a little bit about themselves. This month it's Alex, our new community manager for Train Sim World. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, to start from the beginning, I've grown up in northwest England, but also partly in Spain and Wales for a few years. I love science fiction and movies, as well as creating artwork and being creative. I previously had a YouTube channel where I loved creating gaming content. From there, I studied astrophysics at university for a year before switching into a video game art degree and graduating last year. I also love cats and very much plan to get many of my own someday. What is your history with trains? My history with trains is very brief, but I do travel on the rails very often as I commute from my home in Chester to my partner in London for a few months, so I found that that train time is where I can get creative sketching and watching TV shows. It's become a comfort for me now. And I'm looking forward to getting on board with the world of train and rail, learning more and channeling the passion you all share. What are you enjoying the most so far about life in the Train Sim World community? Everyone in the community is extremely passionate about the game and they all want to help us get Train Sim World 2 to the best place it can be, which is why I'm so excited to get more projects and fun events planned to give players new experiences. The community has also been incredibly welcoming. What is your role within Dovetail? My role in the Dovetail team is to join in with the community and help the team create exciting new ways for players to play and enjoy the game, giving players that fantastic feeling of having a greater connection to their favourite games. I will also be jumping on live streams and creating more fun patch notes like these here. Describe yourself in 3 words: enthusiastic, compassionate and dependable. And then we got community improvements, a short update on other areas of the improvement. So the Xbox Jackhammer audio is now fixed. Crashes on rush hour routes. The current solution for out-of-memory crashes we're working on relates to the DLC manager we have above. So yeah, if you have fewer add-ons each time you play, you'll get less out-of-memory crashes, but that is for the add-ons manager at some point. And then save game red light issues. Whilst not the same issue, we are bundling these together at this stage as they are in similar places in terms of investigation. We are currently working on what longer-term development improvements for the dispatch and save game functionality would look like, as it is looking like a case-by-case approach isn't feasible. And as with the add-on manager, we'd rather work on a solution then that will solve the majority of the issues at the source. And that is about it there for the roadmap. Yeah, do put your thoughts in the comments below. What did everyone think? Obviously, not really anything too major on there. So we had the class 484, but nothing too new and major. Yeah, do put your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think? Links can be found in the description to the Discord server, to the PayPal, and to the merch store if you do want to help support the channel. Apart from that, thanks for coming in, and I hopefully will see you next time. See you all, and take care. Bye, guys.